We're hearing from investigators tonight. Our Jamie Seymour joins us. And Jamie, let's talk about how that building wasn't even safe to go inside, making their jobs that much more harder.
Yeah, investigators, they typically go right into that burned wreckage and hand inspect all of that debris. But in this case, they had to rely on technology to give them a view inside as they worked to pinpoint what started it and anything that could link back to the suspect. Using an internal source along with assistance by Scappoose Fire, Portland Fire and Rescue used a drone to go inside and not only explore areas of specific interest like where they believe the fire started, but overall document that entire scene and produce 3D images for them to comb through, a new method for the fire investigation unit.
This is the first time we've used this UAV technology to do what we did. But with the capabilities it has definitely allowed us to conduct a scene examination and document it in a way that we would not have otherwise been able to do.
According to court records, the suspect, 27-year-old Cameron Storer, who also goes by the name Nicolette, came directly to the detention center Wednesday and claimed responsibility for setting the church on fire. Investigators still have to make sure that confession corroborates what the evidence shows. And so far, investigators tell me everything is matching up and they believe the right person is behind bars. Though Anderson made a good point at kind of the learning curve this technology brought. He kind of compared it to a surgeon that is used to working on live patients, then having to use a robot to do that from a different room. So it kind of puts that into perspective.
Yeah, challenging on an already challenging task.
Exactly.
Jamie, thank you for that insight.
Now that church building, what's left of it, has to be demolished. Liz Birch has that part of our story. She joins us right now. Liz, what is the latest on the demolition?
Jeff, that demolition's still underway right now. We see excavators behind us tearing down that wall. You can really see the difference in the last hour, how much of it they've been able to knock down. You see that pile of rubble. We've also seen them spraying it down. Also been a crowd out here to watch what's become somewhat of a spectacle. After a century looming over Portland's downtown, today an historic church came down. Around noon, crews started demolition on the Portland Korean Church, the landmark now charred and burned beyond repair. Officials determined the wreckage to be a safety risk, saying there was concern it could topple over in the wind.
I was doing a little work at home, and I heard all the beeping going on, so I figured it's probably time they're going to start demoing this thing.
People gathered to see the demolition, some peering from their windows, others stopping to snap a picture.
It didn't surprise me much. As we all know, it's a lot of campfires sometimes happen around there.
Brian Laramie saw the blaze earlier this week.
I came out here and hung out with a beer with the neighbors and watched it burn down and talked about it and watched the life get sucked out of it.
As an architect, Laramie is used to drawing buildings before they're constructed. Today, he's sketching from memory.
It feels good to sketch. You understand the building and you remember the building more, and even though I walk past this building every day.
The DA's office tells us 27-year-old Cameron David Storer was arraigned on multiple charges, including 2 counts of arson in the first degree this week. Storer also goes by the name Nicolette. The DA's office says Storer confessed to setting the fire, saying they heard voices in their head telling them to burn the church down. They also say the suspect has a history of schizophrenia and reported taking 10 oxycodone pills daily. Laramie says he wishes there was more help for people who need it.
For the mentally ill, the tough thing is they need a lot of work, therapy or drugs or more money spent on them to get them to become a part of society again.
And bringing you back out here live, I do want to mention that there is a big impact to traffic right now. Traffic a little bit of a mess down here because these are some pretty main roads, so something to be aware of if you live or work downtown. Live in downtown Portland tonight, Liz Birch, KOIN 6 News.
Yeah.